Welcome to the astrology report for the week of 18th of September through to the 24th. We're talking about breaking free of the matrix or the illusion or the delusion or whatever you want to call this thing that we're all boxed into. We're going to talk about how that Sun trine Pluto gives you extra drive and willpower, superior individualism, and how that's opposition to Neptune from the Sun in the week ahead is where you are breaking free of escapism, addiction, illusion, delusion, and the grasp or the clutches of something that seems quite real, but actually is not. We may even see a leader fall from grace as his wings or her wings melt in the week ahead. We'll talk about that with the asteroid Icarus. In your own life, this is going to be superior will power, divine will, personal will, hooking up to get better enlivenment, vitality, directionality, and purpose in each of our lives. We'll be talking about that for your sun, moon, and rising sign in the all signs portion of today's week ahead or this week ahead video. So welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before and you're a regular, I appreciate you guys. My name is, of course, Lori Lothian for the newbies. I'm using the Western tropical zodiac and whole sign houses. This is not sidereal astrology. I love the minor asteroids, fixed stars, and I use the Sabian symbols when appropriate. Now, today we're going to start off by just mentioning really quickly, not too long, my favorite new jewelry. I swear, does anybody here, have you ever looked at the asteroid Atlantis in your chart? That's the Ouroboros snake eating its tail bracelet, brass, and the rattlesnake tail. Has anybody, by Coppertist Woo, just sharing, I'm not getting any commission from this, but you get a discount of 15% off in the description box. Coppertist Woo, jewelry made to emulate nature, in honor of nature. And so if you like that kind of stuff, especially snake stuff, which I love, this is my favorite snake bracelet right now, then please check out his link below. And you can order this stuff with Lori15 for 15% off. Have you ever looked for the asteroid Atlantis in your chart, guys? It's conjunct my sun. And all my clients, I peek at the asteroid Atlantis. Don't know what I'm talking about? In my description box below, I have a freebie. It's the Amazing Asteroids course. You can download it, and I teach you how to find all of the asteroids, 24,000 named asteroids in your natal sky. Even if you don't know how to do astrology, I walk you through the process, and the class itself teaches you some of the wow. So I love the asteroid Atlantis because it usually shows me which of my clients are, I call them the Atlanteans, which I am one of. And I remember always wearing snake bracelets when I was there. Okay, I had dreams about Atlantis. I mean, it's crazy that it's conjunct my sun. Just keeping you abreast of my weird stuff. Now let's talk next, and and I kind of wear the boho stuff off the shoulder because I think it reminds me of the Atlantean clothing, and I've always loved this kind of bohemian style clothes. So let's talk next about the sky the week ahead. So it's quiet, it's simple, and it's easy. All right. So, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It's quiet, it's simple and easy because there's not a lot going on. We're coming off of this Virgo new moon. We're writing down the downdraft of that positive and powerful moon. Please go listen to my 2 all signs videos for that. We haven't really hit the energetics of the eclipses coming in October fully yet. We're feeling a bit of the October 14th eclipse and later the 28th. I did a preview video on both of those, but we're not really in the thick of it yet either. So it's a kind of a quiet time in the sky. And for the most part, I really enjoy that. I'm liking this feeling of the week ahead for each of us of like breathing room, like it's been an intense period of time for various astrological reasons, and things are a little softer. And they're also kind of powerful. So we're talking about Pluto. And we're talking about power, wealth. We're talking about maybe divine will or bigger transpersonal forces that generate movement through the collective, through the ripples of the matrix or reality. And so Pluto is, because he's so transgenerational, right? A whole generation will have Pluto in it, Virgo, Pluto and Scorpio. When you look at your natal chart, you really want to look at what planets Pluto is touching by conversation, conjunction, opposition, square, sextile, trine, to know what role he plays in your chart. Because in essence, everybody born within like 3 weeks of you has Pluto in the same place, right? It's not so personal. So, but this big impersonal giant who can make the big things small and small things big, this guy is going to be coming into a trine to the sun. This happens twice a year. It's not a big deal. But as that sun moves through the sign of Virgo, because we are in Virgo season, right? Until Libra season starts on the 23rd of the month of September, we are going to feel this impending power up energy. And it's going to be coming into exactitude on Wednesday and Thursday when Sun, Pluto, trine comes into exact formation. So as 2 days before Wednesday, 2 days after, you're still vibing it, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Sun trine Pluto. Now Pluto's retrograde, so it's moving toward the Sun in the last degrees of the sign, of Capricorn at 26 degrees at the 28 degrees at the time of this this trine, this flowing energy. And so he's moving toward the Sun is moving toward them. That speaks to me of a powerful cooperation. It's not like the Sun's chasing Pluto. They're coming together, they're heading in each other's direction, looking at each other, making this very special. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Sun and Neptune and Sun and Pluto, because just before that trine, based on my favorite book, Ren Butler's The Archetypal Universe, one of my teachers and colleagues, basically on the 18th and 19th, which is Monday and Tuesday, the Sun is more approximately or tightly in an opposition to Neptune at 26 degrees of Pisces, and the Sun will be at 26 degrees of Virgo. And then the Sun goes forward on Wednesday, Thursday, perfecting a trine at 28 degrees of Virgo and 28 degrees of Capricorn, an Earth trine between the Sun and Pluto. So this is going to be one story in two parts. They're interconnected, and they're forming what is called a wedge in the sky. And a wedge is like, I'll show you a picture of the wedge in a minute. I'm going to show you the sky after I read this book. And it's like a breakthrough tipping point, with Pluto being the active energy of breaking through illusion, delusion, escapism, addictions, Neptune, Sun opposition, or also confabulation, manipulation, misinformation, all of that stuff. So let's talk about Sun and Pluto in just a sec. I'm grabbing the Sun Pluto. I'm in the Sun Neptune section to say that Ren Butler is really good at the archetypal stuff of astrology. And here's a few things he would say about positive Sun, positive Pluto connections. Intense enthusiasm and drive, a connection with primal natural energies, interplay of ego and shadow, the struggle for self-conquest, and surges of creative potency. I would also creative and divine will and personal will being fired up together in a positive and intense good way. So here he has a couple of great quotes for this energy. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. And he also has, we dare to be ourselves, however frightening or strange that self may prove to be. And that is by two people who are born with this. May Sarton is the second quote. And the next quote was by George Bernard Shaw. Oh yeah, okay, so let's keep going then. Those quotes are kind of cool, and talk about the opposition to Neptune. I don't think I'm going to even read from that. I have enough experience with Neptune problems already. Is there something that you do to escape reality? Anything? I mean, don't blame you, right? We all feel like we need to get out of this thing that we're in sometimes. The grind, the day-to-day, the stress of the world. But whether it's your popcorn, your Haagen-Dazs, your obsessive working out, your wine or your vape or whatever other escape you use, that's very Neptunian. It's also Neptune, that tendency to self-delude or put your rose-colored glasses on and not see the world as it really is, or as you really could be seeing it. And it works both ways. It's not just the mystic and the madmen that have Neptunian issues, right? Mystic is seeing the divine truth, and the madman is seeing paranoid, schizophrenic illusions, right? But we're coming into an era where we're going to have that simulation of the augmented reality goggles, and that's Neptune, Saturn that are traveling together for 3 years. And how tempting will that be for some people to check the hell out of reality? Like, let's not get our feet on the ground. Let's not worry about helping other people. Let's not even worry about anything. I mean, we already know that a lot of young people got addicted to very many different video games, right? And now there's a lot of research on the dopamine of the young brain getting hooked on simulated realities in video game environments. And this is going to take it to the next level. So that's a Neptune story. In our own lives right now, though, we can also be deluded, or misunderstood, capable of accidentally believing, stories in the news cycle that are here to generate fear. That's all. Just fear. Let's generate a bit more fear. I'm in front of my window. I'm trying to make sure I don't have sun all over me. And you can live in a cortisol fight and flight response to reality for only so long, for only so long. And then your body's going to break down. and you're not going to be able to sustain that. So I'm encouraging each of us right now to look into our own lives this week ahead, because Pluto power is allowing you to break free and break through the prison of what has contained your mind. I almost want to read that Morpheus quote, you know? I think I'll read that Morpheus quote just because it fits this week and the matrixy theme that it has. I'm going to show you the wedge where we break free of the matrix and we can allow that divine, more transpersonal will to move through our individual will. And we can accomplish great things this week in each of our lives individually, okay, without having to become a martyr, another word for, or a savior complex, another word for Neptune in his shadow side. So there's something about that whole movie, The Matrix, that always captured me, because I always suspected there was something wrong with reality. Because as a child, I was seeing ghosts. As a child, I was able to see little particles of light moving through reality, and I had prophetic dreams. And so, you know, if you're anyone like me, you know that there's a lot more to the world than meets the eye. So one of my favorite Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus quotes from the original movie, The Matrix, that is this one. There's something, you know, that there's something wrong with the world. There's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it is there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you to me. And he says that to Neo before Neo gets unplugged from the Matrix, but also, or red pilled, as we say, also that one part of the movie where he says, I can only show you the door. You're the one that has to walk through it. Now, those themes are resonating for me this week. Pluto will show us the door. We have to walk through it. We will feel that there's a splinter in our mind driving us crazy. But if you're walking the world in pandemic fear, for example, still, like, let's say, masking up, when there's like 25 studies that suggest that doesn't work, and those studies are out there, okay, I'm not kidding you, then you're living in some kind of constraint, fear, and paranoia. And if you don't like what I have to say, then go check out the studies before you tell me that I'm evil, wrong, bad, or I don't care for people who've been harmed by the illness itself. Okay, I'm just telling you that the cure is not this. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that. That's not going to solve the problem. Now, this week, I'm showing you the wedge. I'm going to show you what the sky looks like. And I'm going to talk about how you will power up in your own life in some area, work, health, career, to break free of something that has been holding you back. Maybe something that's been just like a splinter in the mind of you, driving you crazy. And now you can power through that and break free. At the end of the week, we're going to see a Venus sextile Mars story beginning on Sunday. I'll be talking about that next week's video because they do not perfect. And that means this is not really a story in the sky at all, though some astrologers will tell you that it is. And so we'll be talking next Monday's video about the non-event of Venus and sextiling, or 60 degrees almost, but not quite, away from Mars already. We'll talk about the whole synodic cycle of Venus and what this almost but not quite event might mean, like a reformation. Okay, so, and as we start off the week, we're also coming off the heels of the 15th, 16th, 17th of the month, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday. The waning influence is beginning to happen, the aftermath of a Venus square Jupiter. I go into detail in last week's video about that for each sign. If you want to know more about it, because it's still lingering until the Friday of this week ahead, then go ahead and listen to last week's video, because that story does continue to about the 22nd of September, but I've covered it in depth last week's Monday video, and you can find that on my playlist. And if you're in the live premiere and you're listening and you haven't hit that like button, please do. New to my channel, give me a chance. 24 to 25 videos a week. I'm teaching Sky Reader. That comes out on September 23rd. There's only a few days left to enroll on my last iteration of this intro to astrology, so you can be your own astrologer and time your best life. I even forgot to promote myself today. I'm almost full. I don't take more than maximum 50 students per class because I really can't manage too many people at once in terms of questions. Okay, so here we have this September the 18th, which is Monday, and there's that sun opposite Neptune, moving into the perfected opposition to Neptune on Monday and Tuesday. Long story short, short story long, Lord Mercury is in great dignity, now direct, watching over what that sun is doing and clarifying and helping the sun deal with this Neptune problem. Now, Sun Neptune can be a leader with a mental health challenge, a leader with a delusion, a solar figure, a leader, a world leader with some confusing stories going around that person, news, information, confusion, uncertainty, delusion, illusion, and manipulation. Okay, I don't know what's going on in the United States right now with the Joe Biden story. I'm not political. I'm in Canada. I'm nor am I a Republican or a Democrat. I'm just intelligent. But he just got pulled away from a microphone in Vietnam as he was speaking by his staff because he was just rambling. And I thought they were afraid he was going to say something, so they just played some jazz music and pulled him away and abruptly ended a press conference. So I mean, there's a lot of speculation that Joe Biden's cognitive function is rapidly declining. It could be true or not true. Same thing happened to Donald Trump when he was in office. A lot of speculation about his cognitive functions. And we have a gerontocracy right now in the United States, or you guys do. I'm in Canada. I am Canadian. And so there's like, Mitch McConnell sort of fading out and having mini seizures in the middle of talking, it seems. There's Joe Biden, being Joe Biden. There's Donald Trump when he was doing Donald Trump. They weren't anyone. These are all guys, old men ruling the world, right? Let's just say old men and women, because we also have very elderly women in the United States Senate. And this is going to have to be something that we need to all think about going forward. Is there anything wrong with a 40-year-old in power like JFK? I don't think so back in the day. So then youth doesn't give wisdom or strength either. It's just also brains do not function as well. So there's just that. So this can be about a story for the collective that has some of that residue of the gerontocracy, the old people ruling, and what's going on with that spin cycle of Neptune. Neptune's retrograde. He's going back over old ground where he's been before. He's going to be finishing his time in Pisces in 2026. He got here around 2011. So all you Pisces have been going through a very Neptunian time in the last decade. I would also want to point out something here. There's a lot of hardship with water, and now we have the horrible, horrible floods in Libya. Hardship, constraint, difficulty, fear, Saturn, Neptune, water, Pisces, ocean, and so I talked in other videos about how this will continue to be true. My worst fear is terrible contamination, fish die-offs, or ocean currents slowing down, causing really bad, because of the warming of the oceans. And for those of you who think that the oceans are warming because of carbon pollution, actually the latest scientific research, but they don't understand why, is the methane is rising around the world very, very high, very spiked, like a spike of methane in the last few years. And they're thinking it's outgassing from the wetlands in Africa, but they're also thinking it's connected to solar cycles and ice ages. And we're still in a glacial phase. We're not even out of the last ice age because we have ice on the caps of the polar caps and Antarctic caps. And yet the methane rise is normally associated, this dramatic rise, as a precursor to a new ice age. Okay. And we're in that now, and we're exacerbating it perhaps with our way we operate with our fossil fuels, but we're not the sole cause of it. All right. Just want to say, read the science, not the politics. Look what the climate scientists are discovering, not what the politicians are declaring. Think, people, think. Use your mind, ask questions. All right, now back to the story. This is Pluto, and what is he doing? He's saying, let me help you. This is a wedge formation. I will annotate the wedge for you. Here we go, annotation, right? There is the sun, there is Pluto, and then there is Neptune, and that's called a wedge. And that is a doorstopper, basically, right? An opposition, then forming connected by a trine and a sextile. Now, this is only possible because we have Neptune sextiling Pluto for the first time in hundreds of years. And therefore, I can't remember exactly when, probably decades, because Neptune's moving about 180 years per cycle around the sun, but it's not common. So we get this flow between Neptune and Pluto right now, as you can see, 26 and 28 degrees. And this flow between these two planets is going to increase over the next couple of years, right? Or in the next year. Pluto has a little bit more time here, even in the fall of 2024, he's come back to Cap for a bit. And this flow is allowing for this to happen. And so what is happening is that you can power up something to do with your mind, with wealth, through getting through an illusion, a delusion, an escape, an addiction, a constraint, a reality fog of some sort. You can break free of it because Pluto is that superior power and will that allows you to navigate this challenging solar Neptunian conflict. In fact, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk a little bit about what Rand Butler says about Sun Neptune in the shadow side, because an opposition is harsh and therefore it invites the shadow of Sun Neptune, right? So Sun Neptune in the highest form could be like the good guru, right? Because Neptune could be unconditional love, enlightenment, it's storytelling, videography, photography, music. All right. So if it's in the shadow, Ren would say tendency towards self-deception, escapism, dissolved feelings of selfhood, lack of purpose or direction, a potential for psychic inflation. And he also says addiction as a substitute for a mystical experience. Let's all say when we talk about ascension, we're all just ascending, or that the Kuiper Belt objects are bringing humanity into a new timeline. I think that's a little shadow of Neptune myself. I'm a realist as well as a mystic, so I think that's not all true. There is what else is there? Blind spots in perception, psychic inflation, a diluted image, spiritual image of oneself. I am God and you're not. The self-made guru. This is don't drink the Kool-Aid, by the way. Sun, Neptune, shadow, like the whole Jim Jones thing. Prophet, apparent prophet, fantastical zealots of nuttery. Okay, the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter could be that. All right, so be careful. Be careful for this madness of Neptune Sun, but look for the breakthrough this week with Pluto. For the collective, again, what illusion, delusion, misinformation has been plaguing us as a collective that it may have a powerful breakthrough. And then we look at Icarus. Icarus is the son of Daedalus, the inventor. So there's an archetype of invention in here. And Daedalus made these wings, but they were made of wax, and his son grabbed them, and his name is Icarus, and he flew to the sun. And what would happen if you had wings made of wax and you're trying to reach the sun, which is a thing about pride and hubris as well? You will melt the wings and you will fall from the sky. So that's what a fall from the sky of a world leader, question mark, world leader, melted wings. Okay. So we have a square there with Neptune. So a world leader falling from the sky could happen this week. It could have to do with mental health. It could have to do with misinformation, disinformation, exposures. Because of the invention part here of this asteroid Icarus, something that was invented to do with pharmaceuticals coming to a crashing downdraft this week in some news story because of Mercury news story over here, right? And I say pharmaceuticals not because I'm paranoid, but because Neptune and even Pisces, but especially Neptune, rules the pharmaceutical industry as well. So drugs. So basically, escapist drugs or prophylactic drugs or remedial drugs, just drugs. And so here we go again, what is the invention that comes from pharmaceutical that may have news that sends a downdraft of falling from the sky? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to be deplatformed here. All right, let's move on and talk about your sign. I'm going to stop this for a minute so that I can now get rid of all of the annotations. Let's do that. De-annotate this whole thing. And I'm glad you guys are doing this week ahead thing with me. A lot of you are new to my channel, I think. And so if you are, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'm growing by about 3,000 subscribers a month on average. And I wish to continue so that I can reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers to get my little YouTube plaque to make it all worthwhile. But it's also worthwhile when you're in my live premieres with me because I get to know you. And I've had some Scottish people like L.A. Taylor and Misbehaving for a couple of years in my crew, which has allowed me to actually get all these invitations to visit Scotland, which I love. But I'm loving knowing people around the world. I have my little guest book here where I write the names of my regulars. And before we do the all signs portion, which will be very fast, because I'm going for a foot massage, I'm recording on September 15th because my Patreon community gets all my content ad-free, early access, and they'll get this before Monday, and you won't. You want to try me out on Patreon? Give me a try. September is a promotional month where you get 2 free courses from me. Synastry course for relationship, carving your key to purpose, and my 23 all sign videos for free. There's 60 minute videos times 12. They're for sale for $40 and you get them for nothing, $44, if you sign up for my Patreon community only in the month of September. Okay, well, thank you to some of my regular Mad Hippies Life, KMR, Misbehaving, of course, Psychic Readings with Rose, Purple Table Tarot, Chris Ward, Marie Lynn, Vancouver Vixen, Flower Remedy, One Wise Lady, One Rare Bird, Bold and Beautiful Tarot, I think I covered you, Noah Morgan, Balcon 200, Herbal Empress, Grounded Extracts, Linda Calder, Serge Labelle from Montreal, and more. Thank you guys for being a part of my crew. And we are chatting together in my live premieres. If you don't know what that means, the video's been pre-recorded. It comes out, I give you a notice. If you want to chat with me through the entire video, I'm there. So I record them and then I'm there in the videos, and I like my comments and I read them. And so I'm not a disengaged astrologer, because my goal is to create community on this platform, not just for me to be a talking head telling you what's true. I want to hear what you think is true. Okay, I want to hear what your experiences are. I'm gonna go now to the all signs. I think I've seen about 3,000 clients over the last 5 years. I kid you not. And that's how astrology works, because we know what works and doesn't work because we're actually doing the work as astrologers. Okay, so here we go. All signs, let's roll. We're not going to take a long time here, guys, because I want to be on time for a foot massage, but I want to tell you how you're going to power up this week in the sky, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as you experience this energy of the wedge activating your matrix breakthrough moments. I am not starting with Aquarius. It looks like I will, but I won't. Instead, what I will do is I will move us into the hours. I think the wedge will look a little stronger for your eyeballs if I move it this way. And to make it simple, I'm going to get maybe everybody else out of the mix. I get that if you're not into astrology and you're for the newbie here, there's a whole lot of planetary junk in the trunk that you don't even need to see, really, not necessarily for what we're up to today. I might keep Venus in there for various reasons, but we're doing wedge stories here. Okay, that makes it a little simpler sky, I think, yeah. And we can remove the moon because she's moving so quickly. I'm not really into the moon astrology of the week, how you feel every day, you know. That's not my gig. I thought I'd try that out, but I don't really like that stuff. Okay. Your mood of the day is not my call. You know, you be you, you do you. Here we have Aquarius. We're not starting with you. We're going to go start with Aries. So it just means I'm going to spin the wheel so that we get Aries up front. Wow. It's not spinning the wheel because I'm spinning on day. That sucks. Excuse me. I had changed the setting. I'm still in the aftermath of Mercury retrograde, and boy, was that a humdinger. Oh, how do you guys do? Like, I'm not kidding you. I thought, like, really? I've never had one this intense. Well, it helps if I move Aries this way. All right, let's start. Aries, sun, moon, rising sign. What we have going on the week ahead is a big breakthrough, break free of that matrix in your own life, whatever that thing is that has got you stuck. You're going to get some breaking through with a divine willpower powering you up. And I love this wedge that's going to open us up as Aries. I'm an Aries sun and moon to some serious breakthroughs in real life addictions. Now I'm doing my sober September. I'm not really a super addict. I'm writing the wine lover's middle way, but I want to find the middle way with alcohol. Well, with wine in particular. So anyone who is an Aries who struggles with any kind of a habit, pattern, or addictive substance, or just even thought pattern, and you can be addicted to too much exercise as well, then this is going to be a lovely week for a super powerful, amazing breakthrough in that part of your life. And as well, as you break through that part of your life that can hold you back and you self-sabotage yourself, you're divining that power from Pluto. The sun is your career and work and health habits. Mercury is giving you the strength and determination to the idea and the mentalization of what you want. And Pluto is breaking through to say this pivotal power is also going to serve you in your purpose and career zone by ending and cutting some kind of addiction cord or self-defeating cord. You're going to crash into new power or escalate into new power in your reputation and your career in this week ahead. Okay, that's that simple. Possibly too, with this Icarus here, just be careful you don't have your wings melt in ninth house matters, which typically can be foreign lands travel and things to do with your higher education and sometimes book publishing. It's really about what you believe, your faith, what your primary spiritual philosophy is. And if you do kind of melt and the wings fall from your spiritual belief this week of some particular, everything is wonderful, everything happens for a reason, we're ascending, then maybe you will crash, right? But that's okay. There's a crash ahoy on some spiritual philosophy or belief structure perhaps this week, but otherwise we love the power up. You won't believe how fast this video is going to go, guys. because this is the day to do it in a timely way. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Now that those eclipses have stopped moving through the sign of you, I bet you're feeling a breath of fresh air. Well, there's still one at the end of October, but not a full eclipse. It's a hybrid. So you've had a couple of years of intense renovation. Now we're going to say this week, if you have any lingering connections to friends and friendship circles or groups of people belonging, or clubs that you belong to, or societies even, or friends that supposedly are helping you, this Neptune is going to disillusion you, or the fog can clear, or the self-illusion and delusion about who those friends and groups of belonging are can come to a crashing halt as you divine up celestial forces of power in Pluto. And some of this breakthrough can happen through a father figure. It can also, and especially the Neptune is in a career gains house. And if you had these fantasies about how much you're going to make, or you had these wish fulfillments about unrealistic career gains, and now you're getting to get down with reality, Pluto is going to help you power through some clarity, but divine will in your ninth house as well. The matrix here breaking through maybe friends that aren't good for you, friends that you're addicted to, friends who are addicted or obsessed with you, or friends who are just into addictions and they're doing too much like addictive activities or substance abusing or something like that. Or they're just not really your friend and you had rose-colored glasses, or it's gonna be the same kind of difficulty with an elder sibling. The sun, powering up with Mercury and domicile in the fifth house is like, where is that joy in your life? Where is that vitality, enthusiasm, and inspiration going to be sourced that you really want to be operating in your reality? And Pluto says maybe some of that joy and enthusiasm is in higher education. Maybe some of that excitement is in travel and foreign shores. Maybe some of it is in that third marriage that you really need to appreciate. And maybe some of it's by writing a book or publishing a book. Ninth house matters are where Pluto wants you to power up by breaking free of 11th house ne'er-do-wells in your friendship groups, or people you think are your people, but maybe they are not. Are you deluded? Are you a martyr? Are you always trying to rescue them even? Okay, look clearly at some shift in that friendship circles, groups, or things to connect to an elder sibling. All right, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. The big wedge is powering up with Pluto power this week ahead. And it's allowing you to break free of some kind of matrix-like straitjacket or stuck place that has to do with your career path. Now, you may have had great fantasies and really great goals of what you wanted to achieve. Of course, Neptune up here, if you're TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels person, if you're in Hollywood film industry, if you're in photography or music, can be also very much about that. But we're breaking free of something here. So what part of those stories in your career journey have been, as a Gemini, very active? I mean, some of you could even be working for the pharmaceutical companies with Neptune up here, and maybe you're going to be disillusioned. But whatever's going on here, there's some kind of come to Jesus reality striking here anyway, with Saturn's transit till 26 through your 10th house. Just dissuading you and deluding you and taking your rose-colored glasses off. Okay, what it is that you think is true about your purpose and career. That sun wants to have vitality and enthusiasm in some ways, or soul purpose energy coming in and from your home, with Mercury there, writing, communicating in and from the home. Very, very possible. Also, if you have push-pull between your workspace and your goals and your agenda and your home life, Pluto here could be breaking through superior willpower regarding your money, the chunky money over here. Is it time to sell that home? Is it time to buy a new one? Is it time to reap some harvest of legacy wealth from your family of origin and power up so that you can break free of some constriction in your career? It doesn't feel like a constriction until the illusion is dispelled, and Saturn's trying to make sure you see that. I have a progressed sun in Gemini. I have lots of things I could say about that. I think for a lot of what I'm seeing here is that I no longer can continue to do one-on-one readings next year, or I will have to limit them to very much and raise my prices. Okay, it's just like, that's not the place of my growth right now, and that spell is breaking, for example. And also Mercury down here, news coming from mom or dad or family of origin, or conversations in the home can be radically reforming your life as it applies to shared resources with your spouse, your marriage partner type thing, your business partner, or your investments in your 401k, mortgages and bank loans, etc. I mean, obviously it could be an amazing time to refinance, take some money off the table, conserve your jointly held resources in order to break free of some trap in your career space. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising. What a week ahead, right? We got a matrix breaking free energy going on here. You could totally bust the hell out here of some kind of contraction, illusion, and delusion that literally is spiritual, right? Neptune is in the house of God. So this is your faith, your religion, your guru, your pastor, your rabbi, your imam, is that what they call him in a mosque? But anyway, you know, the person that's got the spiritual authority. As Saturn comes through here, he is helping you get really realistic and sober minded about your spiritual beliefs. But you know, this also can be the house of travel, court matters, foreign lands, book publishing, academia. And now Saturn is saying, let's get real over the next 3 years. And Neptune's saying, okay, I guess I'll do that. Bring some of your higher dreams into form. But this week ahead, you kind of get this kind of solar resistance. Your soul is resisting the illusion, the misinformation on international foreign land shores, on academic dispensements and pronouncements or something, or the belief you hold spiritually. The sun is in the third house. It's just like your local neighborhood and neighbors and siblings and travel and skills-based learning. And you could be learning with Mercury here, researching, studying, or learning something, or even reading something online or in the real world, researching something online, Mercury and Virgo, or writing something that helps you break free, bust free of some kind of constriction of illusion that may have got you in a self-deceptive mode. I do think with Pluto in the house of your business partners, your clients, and your significant other, that some of the breakthrough is for them, not just for you. And that they may be having some serious breakthroughs in their lives in this week ahead. And those breakthroughs are their power up, not even yours. And you're witnessing that power up for them from over here in the house of you. All seventh house things are not all about you. In fact, they rarely are about you. Now, this is your marriage house. And so the theme of your marriage having a flow from the third to the seventh can mean there's a power up in your marriage vis-a-vis neighborhood events and siblings this week that can really support a strengthening of the marriage and a breaking of the illusions that have held you back in your meaning of life area of the sky, that ninth house. Oh, sorry about the noise, guys. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. The energy here is a wedge of breaking through the matrix this week ahead as you bust out of some kind of self-deceptive illusion around eighth house things. That's money you share with your spouse. That's your alimony, palimony, business monies, bank loans, investments, taxes, tax rebates, etc., etc., etc. So where have you been fogged up here? And now Saturn just got here this year and leaves in 26. And so you're kind of getting serious, sober-minded, getting financial advice, really looking, squaring away your numbers, seeing a tax accountant wouldn't hurt. And all those things are in big time play. And this week you come to a crucible energy or crisis energy around some kind of money you share with somebody else, most likely. Okay. This can also be inheritance monies and any kind of confusion around that. And we don't mind the sun here because the sun with Mercury likes to make money, earn money, especially with Mercury here. So you could be looking at ways to earn money, make more money. Jupiter is in your 10th house. He's not here helping you power up your career and money story over the next year, particularly this week ahead offers some superior gains. But you also see Pluto in the workspace, and that can be a power up with a boss, breaking through some kind of fog about your money. So you have a boss conversation, a raise, a promotion, but you're also the one experiencing a sense of empowerment as your willpower is increasing. Now, if you want to get rid of a food you eat that you shouldn't eat and you're addicted to it, particularly, can't get enough of that food, can't get enough of that vape or something, this is really superior energy for breaking through an addiction as well. Food stuff in the mouth here, substances in the mouth, second house. Mercury, the intellect and the ideas to change it. Pluto, the power in the house of sickness to change it. And Neptune, are those addictions coming from unprocessed shadow material? And if so, this is the week that you break free, Leo. All right, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. If you're a Virgo, this is a story that has the sun in the house of you, opposite Neptune in the house of your partner. Do you have rose-colored glasses about your partner? Do you think they're really swell, but underneath you wonder if they're really unswell? Do you think that they have a mental illness? Do you think they have an addiction? Are you deluded? Are they deluding you? Are they spinning wool over the wool of your eyes, putting the wool over your eyes? Yeah. So this is a time when you're looking squarely at it this week and asking yourself, is this my person or is this person real? And you've been dealing with a lot of misunderstandings in terms of how you see those people since 2011. And I can speak to a few Virgos I know who've been with narcissists, addicts, and mentally unwell people and not seen it clearly, or, not known it until it was too late in the last, 10 years. More than that. So here we have an opportunity for you to square away with divine willpower, breaking through a illusory, deceptive thing going on in significant love and business partnerships. As you break free here, Pluto is in the house of vitality, enthusiasm, inspiration, bringing you not only the potential for a breakthrough in a illusory relationship setting to a client, a business partner, or a loved one, but also to see your own inspirational, enthusiastic, vital nature increase to a new level of power. And you may find, of all things with Pluto here, that you could even find yourself busting forth with direct, intense, new levels of creative power. And if you're an artist at all or a creative type, this is a wonderful, wonderful week for that part of your story to increase dramatically. I don't talk about this Icarus for everybody, but watch for falling from melting wings. It's something to do with your home life and in your home itself, so watch out for real kinds of difficult relationship things and conversations that can really be a tumbling from the sky of a significant life relationship vis-a-vis probably conversations in the home this week ahead. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. In the sky, you've got a breakthrough of the reality matrix wedge story as your willpower and divine willpower connects together. And this is going to be playing out all week, as I said in the intro. Now, one of the things I'd say here is that you're going to do this energy or feel this energy very subconsciously. If you're a Libra, sun, moon, and rising, this is a subtle placement for you. The sun in the 12th house can be your own unconscious, your Akashic records, your nighttime dreams, the inner life that you have, if you have one. Mercury here is bringing you great dream and meditation messages if you're paying attention this week. And this opposition to Neptune is the house of the work you do in the world and the health you keep or don't keep, the house of sickness. So foggy sickness issues where no one could find out that what the hell's wrong with you probably prevailed since 2011. Now Saturn's giving a realistic look at the health matters, but also the work routines. And if you've been feeling like the rose-colored glasses are being taken off the work you do in the world and the daily grind or the work and job space, this is a week where those glasses really come off. You're no longer seeing through some sort of hopeful wish fulfillment, but rather looking squarely at your job and going, am I sure I want to do this? The fantasy bubble can pop. And power, though, from Pluto, power from your mom, power from your dad, power from your ancestors, power from your family of origin, power from people in your home, power from the home you live in, the real estate you sit on, to break free here, okay, to bust out of some kind of health or work confusion, self-deception, or fog. Call on the ancestors, call on mom and dad if they're alive, call on them even if they're not alive, call on anyone living in your domicile with you to help you power through, power up, break free. Certainly, axis of 6 and 12 can be addictions, pot, weed, everyone thinks it's recreational, but you can get habitually addicted to it, okay? I know a Virgo who just went to a doctor who said, thank goodness you stopped, because that thing that happened to you from daily pot consumption was probably a psychotic break a few years ago. So, it's not always good. There's too much of a good thing, right? So, maybe weed can be medicinal, right? Maybe it can be medicinal. Maybe it could be. Too much of anything is a problem. So any addictions you have, for you Libras, this is a particularly good breakthrough week. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Okay, so remember, we're breaking free of the matrix all week long, busting out of illusions, escapism, addictions, and things that sabotage your life and things that confuse you. This confusion energy is in your 5th house of children and romance and sexuality and creativity and maybe entrepreneurial business model if you have one, or your business. And the sun is in the house of your great career gains. Now, Venus has been trundling through here for 4 months. Hopefully some of you got raises, promotions, or popularity in your workspace. It should have happened, especially since she's been direct after September 4th to October 7th. But nonetheless, you still have this like intensity. This can be an elder sibling or a friend who seemed like an ally, or it can be just a theme of great career gains, opposing, having conflict with Neptune in the house of romantic love and children. Now, because these are other people houses, lover and children, friends and allies, an elder sibling, it could be a conflict this week between the two types of people in your life, not just all about you. But the breakthrough energy is in that third house, a younger sibling, elder sibling, 11th elder, third younger, okay, flowing energy. That's great. A younger sibling creates an outcome of great success for some challenges you had in your career gains, in your visions of your future and what you really want. Now, Neptune in the fifth house can have made you addicted to substances like pleasure-seeking escapism since 2011. With Saturn entering here now, like this year through to 2026, it started in March, you're going to be able to like really get a grip on how you undo yourself in that way. I have a Scorpio friend who told me about finally cutting way back on the consumption of weed and beer as a escape hatch of pleasure. So this can be, since Saturn entered here in this year. So, there's more of that going on, more refining of that, so you can increase your success, maximize your goals, actualize your hopes and wishes in your life with vitality and mind and clarity and ideas, with Mercury in direct motion, holding that sun in good stead, a leash on that sun, basically. And, Pluto breakthroughs, look to your neighbors, your neighborhood, your online world, skills-based learning, maybe a trip or a journey that really helps you bust away from some kind of escapist pleasure or unrealistic visions about what you can achieve with your love life, your children, fertility, pregnancy, and creativity, having to kind of be rose-colored glass, taken off the rose-colored glasses here. That's all. All right, Sagittarius, a week ahead to break out of that matrix and bust free of something with divine willpower backing up your personal will and agency. That's going to happen because we can see that we have this illusory foggy Neptune. He's already trying to break through some fog because he's retrograding. He's trying to get you to go inward to see what's real. And as he's moving backwards here, this week ahead, the sun comes into an oppositional force from the 10th house. What kind of career ambition or person who's an authority, like a boss in your career place, someone who's a solar figure, could be really laying down some serious law around information use and words, okay, to you, or ideas or communications, and it kind of dispels or tries to rectify some kind of swampy, drain the swamp in your home life. Is that about your home life itself, people you live with? Is that about the things that you do alone at home, home alone? Are you into escapist, addictive, delusional pastimes in your home? But somebody in a kind of a solar figure you respect, you look up to, may not be in your workspace even, just somebody that you respect and look up to, maybe communicating with you this week in a very powerful way what's really important for you to hear, so that you can break free and through with Pluto power and personal will in your earnings and voice and vocation of your second house. And it certainly can also indicate breaking free completely of a food substance or ingestion substance that's not good for you as well, but also powering up your speech, powering up your earnings, powering up your ability to generate your prosperity. And this week can help you turn the corner. Thank you to the matrix breaking power of Pluto in a wedge to Neptune Sun opposition. All right, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I'm determined to go to my foot massage on time. In this part of the sky, we can see that this is your matrix breakthrough, but you're the one with that wedge power, Pluto. You've been learning about cosmic forces, transpersonal forces beyond your little self since 2008, as the universe has given you some experience with loss and death, crisis and conflict in order to grow wings, to become that butterfly from that caterpillar, to learn to shed the skin that doesn't suit you like a snake. This has been your journey since 2008, and you know it. And each of you who are Capricorns who've gone through this, due respect, because this is a journey your soul chose. And as Pluto comes to this retrogradation with the sun facing the sun, and the sun is connecting this week with Pluto, there's a story going on here that has something to do with how you can power up to a new supreme level of vitality and soul force in ninth house matters. And this can be a spiritual awakening, or this can be a deepening of an existing spiritual path, or this can be really leaning into father figures, guides, mentors to help you see the way, especially with Mercury, news from abroad, news from a foreign shore. But what has been deluding you the most is that Neptune in the third house of siblings, or journeys, trips and travel, or even learning, skills-based learning. Neptune down here can also be a fog of illusion around what you're meant to do on the daily, how you're meant to navigate the everyday daily work world or life that you're living, whether you're working or not. And with Neptune here, of course, I mean, pubs, restaurants, and stuff like that, that's the third house of the local neighborhood. So if you had a tendency to overdo that, or to, haunt the hood for the pleasure-seeking, escapist things you want to do, like weekend paintball games, I don't know, or a ton of drinking at bars and restaurants, maybe that can also come to an end. Or any kind of illusion or delusion about the capability of a younger sibling in particular to support something you wish to create in this life, especially because of that Pluto in the house of you. You're the one with the power, maybe coming to a close as you sober-mindedly and realistically look at that sibling in a new light, or something like that. Childhood friends are also here in this part of the sky from elementary and high school. Long story short, because the sun is here and Pluto is here, you may fire up a whole new cylinder for a higher educational path this week and decide you want to go get your doctorate, or you may really look at some kind of foreign land travel or news coming from a foreigner that could seriously up-level your sense of potent personal power. But you feel in divine flow, and you release the third house narratives in a fog dispelling way. All right, I'm an Aquarius rising like you guys, sun, moon, and rising. Let's go. We have this sort of a matrix breaking effect here as Neptune in the second house is asking us to, since 2011, spiritualize our earnings and get rid of our fantastical illusions about money. Can I ever speak to that? I hope you guys can too. It took me a long time to understand what this transit has been doing for my voice, my vocation, my speech, second house, my habit with wine, the wine lover's middle way, because wine and my mouth love each other a lot. Have you had that problem, Aquarians? I know a lot of us have. And so this is coming to a real breakthrough around all of those themes, your earnings, your substances you ingest, spiritualizing your work so that it reaches a higher standard of, transpersonal and theoretically enlightenment content. I remember doing the Awakened Dreamer blog when I was enlightened in 2011, as Neptune created that for me. And then in 2018, and I thought I could just get through the world by spending all the money I'd ever saved. You know what I mean? And that was an illusion that Neptune showed me the way. And then I'm no longer under that illusion. So when we see this kind of Neptune thing in the second house, I tend to think about substances that we ingest that are bad for us, escapist, addictive type dependency energies. And the sun is deep in the unconscious, deep in the familial patterns, deep in the darker places of our psyche. But also the eighth house can be support from the dead, support from people or archangels or beings from other planets or whatever they are in the eighth house, hidden realms beyond the veil. And because of that, we also see that Pluto breaks the power through. And this is definitely the Akashic records, your past lives, going deep. It's soul work. You're busting through a lot of shit this week ahead, and it's all related to soul work. It is the ideal turning point around illusions, delusions, and myths around money, spending, earnings, and addictions. And you, us Aquarians, are going to not look through that rearview mirror. We're not going to do Lot's wife, and we're not going to turn around and turn to a pillar of salt. We got this. We are busting out. This is a lovely wedge. Don't forget, it's relatively rare. We need to see Pluto here, and he's going out of there soon, and he's moving toward the sun. So it's extra powerful because the sun and Pluto are approaching each other in the energy fields this week ahead. Finally, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign, energy in the sky suggesting, don't forget, hit the like button, guys. I've totally forgot to remind you through this whole video. Hit that like button in the live premiere especially. So what we have here is that the relative energy of the matrix illusion delusion, the part of it's not real, one that's driving you crazy, that's Neptune going through the house of you since 2011. A lot of you are spiritually awakening. A lot of you fallen into addictions. A lot of you had mental illness challenges. Were you the madman, the mystic, or something in between since 2011? It depends on the degree of your rising sign, sun, or moon. It's the later degrees that are getting more Neptune right now. But nonetheless, all Pisces have been feeling this crucible of Neptune through the house of them, and it can actually enlighten you. So I know this because this happened to me as the transit of Neptune through Aquarius was occurring. Well, with Neptune opposite the sun in the house of the significant other, business partner, or audience, there is this energy of vitality and power and source energy coming through your significant other, the others, your client, your business partner, your significant partner of love. And they're also flowing to Pluto in the 11th house of good spirit, the actualization of karmic rewards, hopes, wishes, and dreams, the greater gains you can achieve through your career. Now, in essence, there's something going on here where another person who has a great power of intellect, mind, perception, ideas is going to communicate something to you this week ahead. Could be an email, could be a phone call, could be a conversation that is going to allow you to power up divine will in the 11th house, of great gains from career, actualization of some hopes, dreams, and wishes, the ability to transform your relationship with an elder sibling, or to bring allies and benefactors who are wealthy and powerful, who act like big sisters and brothers, into your story this week. But it's also breaking through that niggling suspicion that's driving you mad that there's something not quite right about how you're seeing reality. Allies are all over this for you. It's not your job. It's not inside out. It's outside in. You're getting help from the universe here. Okay. And you may have felt already that your wings have melted in your 10th house endeavors, career and reputation wise, or they're melting this week. But the upside is deepest dreams and wishes for your life are being revealed to you in powerful new ways, and maybe even to some degree actualized. Thank you everyone for listening to this. All signs, week ahead. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. You know the drill, guys. It's 2:44 my time as I finish. I'm heading off for my foot massage with my soulmate James, who's not trying to scare me this time. Yeah, he's a Pisces rising, but Cap anoretic sun. All right, bye everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead.